Welcome to Seven Trumpets Prepper. Guys, it has been a long minute. It's been about a month since we've all talked. And in this video today, I'm going to talk about how that there's going to be a ton of changes coming to the world very soon. Just in this past month, it's crazy how much has been set in motion. That if we look at it scripturally, prophetically, end times based, it'll blow your mind. And I'll get into that in a minute, but I want to say that the past 30 days I took, and it's been about a week since that 30 days ended, and I have prayed and just tried to do a massive reset on my life. A lot of stumbling blocks, just financial problems, just all these things that would be an issue, just to remove them out of the way. And the Most High has just done so many things to help me. And some of them things I'll talk about at a later date. I'm not going to talk about that today, but I will talk about this real quickly, is that the spiritual warfare that went on in that time. I've never had like what I would say is like entities or things that like I physically know something ain't right or it's around me, right? And when I was working recently at my job, I had my laptop setting on some sawhorses. On a sawhorse, and I knew it was stable and everything, and it just flew across the factory, and just the solid state disk drive in it failed. And keep in mind, this is like military grade, you know, like a Dell 6024 XFR, you know, tough ruggedized laptop thing. You know, you can drive over this with a tank. And the whole thing was fine except for all my information that I had stored on it was gone. Fast forward, and this is while I'm doing that 30-day prayer and trying to do a reset in my life. And then I'm working in a customer's tiny house. I'm up on a ladder, and my drill bits box just goes flying off the stove. Keep in mind, it's back there far in their house, and just flies out into the floor. And I'm like, okie dokie. Once is a fluke, twice is something is fundamentally not right here. So, you know, there has been some wild things go on in the past bit, but I feel like there is this spiritual veil being lifted in the world for those that have eyes to see and ears to hear. And there is a lot of changes taking place. And there's also this scenario. I thought about making two videos, but I'm going to kind of roll this into one, that there's huge change taking place in the world. And there is also also being incentivized almost to not do the right thing at all anymore. There's like no incentive almost, except for keeping the Torah and love of the Father and making the kingdom. But like there's this paradigm, this precedent being set, and I'll explain this more in a minute. But what I want to do first is I want to cover the things that's coming, and then break this down. This like non-incentive to do the right thing anymore, because it all is connected. It all is connected, and really took some time away to, you know, think about a lot of things, analyze a lot of things that's going on. And, you know, coming very soon, you know, you can see this UFO, and I wrote a bunch of notes down from where I was thinking on these things, guys. Just bear with me. I want to make sure I don't get anything out of the ordinary or out of line. How I want this presented is that, you know, UFO thing, the phenomena is being discussed a lot now. And keep in mind, I find it interesting at the time that it's being discussed, because you know that you've got drones, and drones as big as vehicles, and all this stuff, you know, being unleashed. So, you know, this UFO agenda can really be pushed now, the actual spiritual things that's behind the veil. Because keep in mind, in like Vietnam, they had these night vision equipment, and men were starting to see spiritual entities and things on different spectrum, because obviously that their normal eyes can't see that, but that equipment was helping to do that. Them little glasses, the lenses and stuff. And then dilithium lenses, or something. I can't explain the exact name on it. But anyway, the military quit using it. They changed it. And then, of course, they banned people owning these glasses, right? And guys, forgive me, I'm tired. I'm working 6 days a week for the next few weeks, because at the tiny house factory, we're building homes for those that have lost houses in North Carolina through this program that's being done. And it's giving people homes, because there's people freezing to death and dying right now. And so it's just imperative that people get housing. So we've been doing that. And the only day I'm off free is with you, and it's Sabbath now. And so I'm pretty tired. But anyway, long and short of it, this veil, I feel like the veil's being lifted. You have this whole UFO phenomenon being discussed at government, the highest echelons of government, and it's being like pushed out in front of people's faces now, and just all this stuff going on. And on the same measure, you have 2nd Ezra chapter 16, and if people don't know, first verses of it: woe to you, Babylon, Asia, woe to you, Egypt, Damascus, put on haircloth, sackcloth, put away, you sons and daughters, for your destruction is nigh at hand. You go further down the chapter and talks about, see these things coming to pass. This is the beginning of sorrows, right? Well, if you look, the rebels are closing in on Damascus. And, the burden of Damascus, Isaiah chapter 17 talks about being a ruinous heap, what the prophets wrote. So you've got to look and consider upon the matter that between 2nd Ezra chapter 16, if you view that as scriptural and contextual for today, and then Isaiah 17, we're real close to seeing Damascus a ruinous heap. And that's very intriguing because, you have a lot of upheaval with the United States right now with Iran. You have upheaval in Iraq. You have upheaval in Egypt. You have massive upheaval in Syria. So the stage is well primed and set for what's to come. And not to mention the 20th of the next pagan month after this satanic holiday festival is over, the Saturin Elia. I won't say it, pagan deity's name, but if you look up the feast of Saturin Elia, Ailia, I believe is how that's pronounced, spelled. You will look it up, you'll see it was a Roman festival that people done all sorts of debauchery and orgy acts, adultery, infanticide. I mean, you name it. It's just terrible, wicked holiday. But nevertheless, people still promote and celebrate that today. And when that time is passed, though, very soon, in about a month's time, on the 20th of the next pagan Roman month, named after a false deity also, you're going to see that Pandora's box is going to be open. And I tell you, for those that seen where I guess some people felt like I prophesied, some people just felt like, I guess, that I just took a stab at it and guessed and called it. But, when I said Trump would win and all the things that's coming, if you see the good old boy club that he's building, I mean, for crying out loud, he even put somebody in Secretary of the Navy, I believe it was, and has never even served. I mean, I know you guys in the Navy, he's got to be thrilled about that. That's just nuts. But anyway, this good old boy club being created, it really starting to look like, how Hitler done his boys and put the good old boy club together. And the militarization to deport people. We're seeing the creation of the SS in modern days. A lot of interesting things that are being churned up, and we're not even past the start line yet. And when we are, I imagine that fascism will raise its ugly head within the first 60 to 90 days, and it will start growing, and it will become a cancer that will finally take full hold, and people will not recognize it. Because the patriotism in them, they won't recognize this new version of neo-Nazism and fascism. I really feel it because it was interesting. The word come to me, just inside me, this word come to me, Mein Kampf. And I was like, what's up with that? And I've been having so many dreams. I dreamed for like 7 days straight recently. Even dreamed about a good thing that was coming to me, and it came to me. And like I said, if I didn't already say it, I'll talk about this in another video, another time later on down the line. But that come to me, Mein Kampf, and it's like that will be the way that things will be followed through during Trump's legacy, presiding over this harlot that serves the great whore Babylon, the Roman Catholic Church. This harlot nation. And so, racial, spiritual, class divide is going to be more and more and more predominant as time goes on. Like I'd never been, I heard about racism. I learned about racism, but I've never experienced such a surge of it as now. And class divide too. And a spiritual divide. And like, it's going to be interesting to me because I think things have gotten so bad that that November 5th was the death of wokeness, right? Because when Trump goes in, I guess one thing I will enjoy when I see fascism rise, not that I care for fascism, but one thing that I will definitely enjoy with this is watching the death of wokeness, because it will die rapidly. Like, not only is the wokeness so crazy, but like, I'll touch on this in a minute, like the no incentive to do the right thing anymore, is that you see it at the highest levels. Like, I seen a pastor, so-called pastor, supposed to be, that was actually in drag. You see all the movies and all the TV series and just insert the craziness, the drag queen, storybook hour with children, like this craziness that has really ramped up, especially past Rona, the years of Rona. It's really been wild. And you see the massive surge in the financial sector, and it is so fake in my eyes. Like, it's so propped up. I just see it as a facade about to fall, and a depression 2.0 kick in. Not a recession, a massive depression. You got to think that for the past 4 years, things have essentially capitulated to where that we are paying double for everything now. Like, everything you look at, doesn't matter what it is. The books on the shelf behind me, the flooring that goes on this floor in the room that I put down years ago, actually about 4 years ago, everything's double. So, that people that were living below their means are living at their means now, and people that was living above their means are probably at the bankruptcy office here just very soon. So, it is a nasty, ugly monster about to rear its ugly head. And, the pandemic 2.0, I hope I spread that out enough so I don't get flagged. We all know that's coming. We all know that's coming, folks. And, I feel like I'm beating the war drum constantly about this, but, I want to make sure and lay a solid foundation, continuous, of not being wrong, so that when people come back later and say, Luke is crazy, he's an idiot, I don't believe him, but the bro was right. Like, people's already come back and told me, man, things you said about election, things you said that was going to start taking place after election, they're already coming to pass. You were right. And I'm like, that's cool. All praise the Most High, y'all. Wasn't of my own spirit. That just come on me before election. And we're watching it transpire, and I'm feeling things. I'm just receiving things in my spirit now, and I don't claim to be a prophet or anything like that, guys. I'm telling you, I feel the shift in the world. I feel the shift in myself. I've told my friends and family I'm not the same person. I just don't feel the same anymore. I have this deep desire to not want to sin no more. I have this deep desire to want to be a better version of myself. I want to see the people around me winning and be a better version of themselves. There's just the shift. I can feel it. But, on top of this, I just feel there is a blackout coming in the year ahead. There is going to be a massive blackout in this country. I really believe this will be the year that it's done. I'm telling you, I just have this feeling, this sense of urgency to have power and heat, because something big is on the horizon. I literally just cannot overly stress that in my spirit. Now, I want to shift gears just a second and tell you that there's been this lingering feeling in me, and me and my wife was actually discussing this some at length the other day, is that there's just no incentive to do the right thing anymore. Now, what I mean by that is, I don't mean live in lawlessness. I don't mean don't keep the commandments, have faith in Messiah, and pray that you have salvation, enter the kingdom, and the Father have mercy on you. I'm not saying to live in lawlessness. I just want to be very clear what I'm about to say. We ought to serve Yah, not man. Now, I don't want to be clear on. And, I seen this thing just this morning, two things, and one I've already mentioned, but I just want to circle the wagons on. So I seen this morning this lady that she was with, I guess, her military husband, boyfriend, fiance, whatever. They showed a picture of it, and people shared where that she had left, I guess, straight from seeing her husband off or whatever, and went to a motel and shot an adult film, and was in the same clothes in that film that she had left just recently seeing her husband. there is this, I'm laying a foundation, so just bear with me. There is this mass burnout I see in young men. I've been noticing this, especially young men I've talked to lately. Is it like they don't want a relationship anymore because said example right there. And the reason I'm starting with the young people and with like this situation is because like relationships is the most important thing. Like family, nuclear family is the one light candle lit protecting, you and your family against the world, right? And you just see this eroding, right? And young men don't want to marry up anymore because of just like that prime example right there. That's made it like on blast on social media. And like it's crazy. It's like the trust level is gone, and there's no incentive to want to really do the right thing, like build a marriage, build a relationship anymore. And I'm starting here and working out religion, politics, business, everything. I'm just touching on this real quick because it'll all make sense in a minute. Especially intertwined with what's coming, turn of the year on the pagan Roman satanic calendar anyway. And turn of the year is actually in spring on the scriptural calendar, but that's another conversation for later. If you want to follow the scriptural calendar, I encourage you to definitely look into that. There's plenty of content on this channel too about it. But there was even a conversation I had with a young man where he's explaining where that, he could go to Vegas, drop off his wallet, have the time of his life, no strings attached, come home, blah, blah, blah. And as I explained to him, like, from a carnal mindset, sure, that seems like a good deal. No responsibility, get the milk without buying the cow, you go on about your business. But the problem is, there's a payday, there's a bill due for that spiritually at the end of the road one day. And the tab will get paid, I promise you. And so the other thing is disease and everything like this, but these men have been squeezed into a position where they're like, you know what, forget this nonsense. I don't have to deal with this. I'll just go over here and do this. And I feel like this atmosphere is also being created by design. Like this is by intentional design that things are being manifested this way. Because then when you go up to like the religious aspect, people don't want anything to do with religion anymore or care to go because they see the corruptions at the highest levels in so-called church. And they, for example, like this pastor was standing up and he was in drag, and I seen it on a video today. I seen this on a video on social media this morning. I was like, we have lost our mind, especially in this country. Like it is absolutely at like peak capacity of insanity at this point, and the wokeness to go with it, right? And so people really don't, have an incentive to care to go to, church anymore, because not only is it just corrupt, but then you have just completely out in left field whacked, right? And then you have school system where there's story time with drag queens, and you have the wokeness in the school system, you have the wokeness in the workplace where a lot of people don't even want to work anymore because there's no incentive for the future. You're never going to be a homeowner. You're never going to really have a relationship. You're never going to, have a retirement. I mean, I'm already accepted that about the retirement thing. I was talking to that to my friend the other day that's a CEO of a company. I was talking to him that I am thrilled that they will have, hopefully, y'all will, in retirement. But my generation, there's no, I don't know. I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. And furthermore, I expect Messiah's return before then, so it kind of just knocks the edge off that anyway. It's kind of just hold until relieved kind of mindset that's in my mind, and just keep my life insurance paid. Should I go to that dirt nap sleep, awaiting the resurrection and the judgment last day, my peeps are good to go in the meantime. But, there's just this Pandora's box that's been opened. And then come the turn of the year, people are going to see, I really believe, fascism rise in this land. And when they do, especially for people like me, it is that switch flip that it's like, do I really need to bother doing man's law anymore? Do I need to worry too much about participating in this said system? Because, I've watched the President of the United States, which is supposed to have a massive responsibility to do the right thing. Pardon his son, which is a known criminal, right? We've seen Biden do that. I seen the other day where if I go 5 mile an hour over in my town, I'll get pulled over and wrote a ticket. But for the Satanic Holiday Parade, a guy drove his family. There was like 5 people sitting in the front of this old car, old classic car, driving through town, and the police car literally was behind them. Now keep in mind, this wasn't time for the parade. This was a vehicle driving through town with literally, if somebody hit them, they could have all died. Not seatbelted in, because, we have seatbelt laws, all right? And I'm not trying to be a Nazi about this. I'm just trying to point this out. And then the police cruiser, my wife's seen it with me, was right behind them. Didn't pull them over, didn't stop them, say, hey, everybody else needs to get in the back, buckle up until you get here or whatever, nothing. But they will pull me over at 2 a.m. coming back from factory work because there's nobody else to pull over and want to haggle me and try to give me a ticket. Like, I'm feeling petty about this stuff. I'm not going to lie, okay? And so, that's just my little one-horse town, that I live in. But it's like we live in a country, especially in the world as a whole now, but especially this country, that we pick and choose the laws that are to be upheld and who is to be under them and etc. And, I go back to that we ought to serve Yah and not man. And we're going to arrive very soon where that we're going to be told what to think and how to think and who to think it about. And, with Elon Musk at Trump's right hand, and with the Terminator bots and the scanning of the hand at Whole Foods and the Neuralink. And folks, I'm going to tell you, I thought 2019 to 2024 was wild. I really think that the next 4 years is going to be absolutely insane. I have just felt this churn. I have stepped away from social media. I have just sat and analyzed and analytically thought about this. I'm like, how can this play out? Like even the unctions in my spirit that I know I believe with all my heart are from the Most High, even with all the unctions that's been in my spirit lately, I'm like, how will this not play out the way that I see it? Like, I cannot compute it to play out any other way than how I've seen it. And it is going to be a nasty road ahead. And there's a lot of things I've expressed in this. Personal thoughts, prophetic, things going on, prophecy, you name it. Just make notes and just observe, because it's what I've been doing. And it's like I seen the other night with, that going on in Syria. And I'm like, man, this is just all these puzzle pieces. When you're building a puzzle, I guess the last thing I say to this is like when you're building a puzzle, right? And, there is this, there's this point where you arrive at where you have the border built. You have a lot of the prominent features built in the puzzle. So they're like hanging by like 2 or 3 pieces to the rest of it. But you're starting to get this visualized picture of what is left, right? And how it's got to sequence out, right? Or, that's just how I do with doing puzzles and stuff. And so when you look at that, you're like, okay, in order to arrive at X plus Y equals Z, this needs to be the way that script plays out. And that is exactly what we're watching transpire. And the craziest thing, and I would close on this, the craziest thing of all is the people as a mass and whole, especially in this nation, and many people throughout the world, think that the people that are about to take power are going to save them, are actually going to be the ones that enslave them. Is that not straight wild? As I spoke to my wife about it, about that, I just pray constantly. I don't want to be given over to strong delusion or reprobate mind. And I pray, Father, y'all, please forgive me a sinner. I confess it in front of the over 100,000 subscribers that's on my YouTube. Any sin that I've committed, please forgive me for it. I want to be found worthy, and I really, really want your protection, and please protect those that watch this channel. Because, man, I'm telling you guys, this is ground zero. This is rubber meets the road. I mean, you're living in exciting times, and you're about to watch some of the craziest stuff that you've ever seen in your entire life, your entire existence. You're about to see it go down here in the very near future. And I hope you're ready for it, because I'm telling you, from everything from nuclear war to blackouts to pandemic to Mark of the Beast system to just the whole 9 yards, you're about to watch at full bore, and it is going to be wild out here. And I just hope you get prepared and ready, because I've spent since 2012 on this channel trying to educate, enlighten, and encourage people to be prepared against the days and hour that we're about to approach, and we are here. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have made your election sure whom you're serving, because it's about to be game time. So, guys, as always, till we see you again here at 7 Terms of Purple channel, I hope you enjoy your Sabbath. I hope the Most High Yah Baruch Hu keep you, make his face shine upon you, show you favor, and give you shalom, my friends. In Yahushua name.